angst that needed to like come out in some way that wasn't going to get me in trouble. And I never really focused on anything before that much. Wasn't into school, wasn't into sports, wasn't into anything except listening to music and then becoming someone that's actually playing it. Now it's an activity. I'm participating in something.
Okay, guys, I wanted to add some things that have to do with yesterday's video and the video I made a couple of days ago. These are the two prescription bottles that I had seen in the pictures of the hotel room that I actually never looked at until I think it was yesterday's video. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is, Chris Cornell, and then it says needs address, Los Angeles, California. So Walgreens didn't have his address, or it would be right here. We already went over what these were. This is Miami Beach, Florida, and this is where, pretty sure he lives, if you go by information on Chris, which is everywhere. So there's that, and then, so just remember what that is. And then when I'm looking at the Ativan bottle, lorazepam, generic name, I see up here the address for where they picked up the prescription and put in the prescription was Charlotte, North Carolina. And the address for Chris here is Santa Monica. Now, I'm pretty sure that he used to live in Santa Monica, but they sold that house. So that's an old address. And he's picking up in North Carolina. So this is a recent, a newly prescribed. Before that, he was in Atlanta, Georgia. This was an article that was in another one of my videos. I guess this is trying to kind of put out there that someone that's suicidal wouldn't be so worried about his safety. So worried that he pushes, a flight back because he doesn't want to fly under bad weather. And on May 9th, he goes so far as to get a car and drive 7.5 hours to, I believe it was Indiana, was the next show. From Alabama to Indiana because of the mechanical issues of the plane. So you think that if he really didn't want to live, and he was in such a dark place, that he really wouldn't care much about anything. The reason why I'm showing you this is this anxiety and all this stuff would kind of explain why he might need the Ativan / lorazepam, which is but my only concern / question is if he takes it on a regular basis, like it was said, why would he not have some on him already? Instead, they had to call it in and pick it up in North Carolina. I guess I don't want to put something out there that's not true, because we all have our opinions and we go through this information, we research it, we double check things, and sometimes we see red flags, and this could be nothing. It could just, I just think it's weird that I had never seen this before, and that it's not sitting with all the other prescription bottles, and they all have different addresses. Well, the two have the same address for Florida, that they were at a Walgreens in Florida. And then this one was picked up in North Carolina, even though he supposedly takes it on a regular basis. And it has his old address. So if this is a newer prescription, why would it have his old address? Unless CVS just never got an updated one. Because Walgreens states that they don't have his updated address either. Here's some of these pictures. I'll point out some of the things I saw. The blood on the door. How would you explain? I guess if they were dragging him out, but that's just like a little tiny thing of blood. It's not like smeared like on the floor. And then my husband made a good point last night when we were talking, we were discussing this. When I was talking about in my video yesterday about how he would have fallen if the door swings in this way and he was on the other side of the door attempting to hurt himself. If the door swings this way, he would have ended up over here if he had fallen, not over here. And Martin said the door was cracked. And he pushed it open, so he would have pushed Chris this way. Because the door's over here. The bathtubs are here. And then, if it's shut, like in these pictures, they're trying to tell us that this was jammed in the door, and the door was shut. I'm waiting, because there is a picture of that I'm not sure I showed y'all yesterday. Okay, so there's the door swinging open this way, and then they shut it. Oh, that's the bar that I was trying to explain yesterday, that when the door shuts, it locks in place. So, let me move this over. This thing slides into place. So if something was stuck here and slammed the door shut, this bar wouldn't have been able to go all the way through, because this thing would have been in the way, so the door wouldn't have been able to shut all the way. It might have appeared to be shut, but it's still open. And they're shutting the door right here. But this little latch thing, not the latch, this handle was attached to the latch that was over here. So shouldn't this be over here? And then, like I had said, the door's here. Martin would have had to walk in. And if that's the bathroom, it would have been cracked. So he wouldn't have seen it immediately. But back to the door, as soon as the weight got put on that, it would have popped the door open. So I don't see how it could have had enough pressure to do the damage it did to Chris. The band, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. And then in this picture, they show you it here, and that's a whole different end to the exercise band. That's a different handle. And then there's the little notch, so it's still not even in the right area. So they're not even doing it right. Blood here looks darker, and to me, like right here and right here, that just seems like clotting. And it seems to, I looked up basic information of blood splatter and how long it takes to dry. And it does say here that blood splatter can guide the recreation of a crime thanks to the same laws of motion and gravity and physics. Says it said something about the clotting, because I was like, oh, here you go, dried and clotted. Blood dries over time. How quickly this happens depends on the surface on which the blood landed. It says clotting begins within 3 to 15 minutes, depending on the type of environment. Mixed levels of clotting can indicate multiple blows occurred over time. 3 to 15 minutes. Because those photos were taken a long time after, because I don't think they showed up until an hour and a half to 2 hours after the incident occurred, or he was found. I had just always wondered why it was so dark, and I was wondering if, since it doesn't look dried and it still looks fresh, if that could help. Obviously the police didn't think so, but if maybe anyone out there that has some knowledge on this kind of stuff would know if that's normal for it to look like that or still be fresh looking. Oh, and this is the front of the door, and that's what I was trying to say, make a point that if he kick, I mean, he wears those, I think he wears those boots, those black, well, what I saw, when he was escorting. And then back to the splatter on the tub. My husband made a comment, a good point, which I guess I could try it out with water or something, I don't know. If you were to be on your back and spit out liquid, would it go sideways or would it go straight up on your face? If you're laying here, how much pressure would have to be put on you, on your chest, to spit that out that far and that high? And he had said that if you were laying down on your side, it would be more likely that it would splatter like that. But then why would he be laying on his side? You think he would have been laying face forward if he had fallen this way off. If he had really been hanging and he falling off that way. Like I said in the video yesterday, there are so many different scenarios that we could go through. Because the details of that night were not specific. Very vague. And it's very sad. Now the door here, we were thinking, me and my husband were talking about it, like I told y'all a while ago. Either these doors are really cheaply made at the MGM Grand, or Martin Kirsten is just super, super strong. Because you would think kicking a door in that's supposed to be pretty strong, because hotel doors, I think, are stronger than the ones you have at home. Like thicker. From my experience, they are. That kicking it that hard, he said 6 to 7 times, would have broke the hinges, broke this off the hinges. Like, it wouldn't even be attached anymore. Okay, and then this picture, can someone tell me what these are? Are these the ear for his ears, or I'm guessing this is the thing that you put over when you sleep, or is that a bag? Yeah, I have no clue. So comment, please, if you know what that is. So if Martin Kirsten were to have kicked this door as hard as he needed to get it open, wouldn't it have his footprint on it, or some kind of damage to the outside of the door? And then this picture is kind of like the lorazepam / Ativan prescription bottle that's in black and white, which is strange. This is another black and white picture, and I don't, like, what is this? I don't know why they did it in black and white. And then this smudges. I don't know what that is. It just looks really creepy. And then with this, come on. Chris was, like I said in the last video, he's like 6'2", 6'3". How short that is. He would have been like up here. Or even like right here. This lady's probably 5'3". This just doesn't make sense to me. There's the latch thing again, like it wouldn't be able to shut if it was right there. Like as it swung it to shut, this would have gone and stuck. So I don't know how they shut it before. I guess they were trying to show different ways he could have done it if he hadn't had that in there. But then what made the little crease? If he had just put the handle in the door and not the clip, then what made the crease, the thing, you know, the little crease in the door carved out? Well, that's pretty much all that I have right now. I can't think of any other things that I see. If you guys see anything, let me know, and please share it. Just spread the word if you know something or you see something out of the ordinary. It's going to take more than just a couple of people to get our questions answered. So this was taken on May 5th. Look at him. He's just Chris. He's being funny, and look at that smile. And his little grin afterward is like he felt stupid for smiling. Or making a joke like he didn't think that was funny. That was on May 5th. And he left us May 17th.